Welcome to Rooted Grace. So far, we've walked through the chaos of Judges, a dark time of moral collapse, rebellion, and spiritual confusion. But now, we turn a page. The Book of Ruth is like a beam of light breaking through that darkness. It's a love story, but not just romantic love. It's a story of faithfulness, redemption, and the providence of God. It's a small story with a big message. And it reminds us, even in the worst times, God is still at work. Let's journey through Ruth together. The story begins in the days when the judges ruled. Famine strikes Bethlehem, and a man named Elimelech takes his wife Naomi and 2 sons to Moab. There, tragedy strikes. Elimelech dies. The sons marry Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. Then the sons die. Naomi is left a widow with 2 foreign daughters-in-law. Hearing that the famine in Bethlehem is over, Naomi decides to return. She urges the young women to stay in Moab. Orpah leaves, but Ruth clings. Ruth, chapter 1, verse 16. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Ruth chooses covenant over comfort. When Naomi returns to Bethlehem, the people barely recognize her. She says, "Don't call me Naomi, call me Mara, because the Almighty has made my life very bitter." But as chapter 1 ends, the barley harvest is beginning. Hope is on the horizon. Ruth goes to glean, collect leftover grain in the fields. It's a right reserved for the poor. She happens to end up in the field of Boaz, a relative of Elimelech. Boaz notices her and shows extravagant kindness. He protects her, provides for her, and praises her faith. Ruth chapter 2 verse 12. May the Lord repay you for what you have done. May you be richly rewarded by the Lord, under whose wings you have come to take refuge. Ruth returns home with abundance. Naomi, hearing of Boaz, says, "That man is our close relative. He is one of our guardian redeemers." A glimmer of redemption begins to shine. God's hand is quiet, but unmistakable. So, Naomi comes up with a plan. Ruth is going to go to Boaz at night after the harvest celebration, and, well, she'll uncover his feet. A cultural gesture that honestly is asking for protection, maybe even marriage. It's risky. Ruth is, really vulnerable in this moment. But Boaz responds with honor. Ruth chapter 3 verse 10 to 11. The Lord bless you. You have not run after the younger men. I will do all you ask. That's from Ruth chapter 3 verses 10 and 11. Boaz promises to act. But there's a complication. Another relative is actually first in line to redeem. Still, Boaz sends Ruth home with grain, a sign of his commitment and provision. Ruth tells Naomi everything, and Naomi smiles and says, "Wait, my daughter, the man will not rest until the matter is settled today. The Redeemer is moving." Boaz heads to the town gate and meets the other relative. He offers him the chance to buy Elimelech's land, but also to marry Ruth. The man declines. He's worried it would endanger his own estate, so Boaz steps in. He redeems the land. He marries Ruth. And the town, well, they rejoice. The Lord bless this woman. May you have standing in Ephrathah and be famous in Bethlehem. Soon, Ruth gives birth to a son, Obed. The women say to Naomi, "Praise be to the Lord, for your daughter-in-law who loves you has given him birth." Naomi, once bitter, now cradles joy. And Obed? He becomes the father of Jesse, the father of David. From Ruth's story comes the royal line, and eventually, Jesus. A Moabite widow becomes the great-grandmother of a king. The Book of Ruth is honestly a masterpiece of faith and divine providence. It shows us that God is present even when silent, that loyalty and love really matter, that redemption often starts in small, faithful steps, and that God includes the outsider in his plan. Ruth, the foreigner, becomes family. Boaz, the Redeemer, points us to Christ. And Naomi, who once said, "The Lord has brought me back empty," is filled with joy. No matter how broken your story feels, God is still writing. Thank you for joining us for the Book of Ruth. Like, subscribe, and come back for 1 Samuel, where Israel cries out for a king. Until then, stay rooted, stay faithful, and stay in his grace.